Hey guys, what is up? It's January 9th, 2026. I don't know how we got to 2026. It feels like we're still in like 2018 or something. But this is probably one of the most exciting videos I've made because this just really works really well. And it's a combination of the most recent videos that I've been putting out. I put out that low volume node video where I explain what they are, how to find them, and stuff like that. And now I have like a macro of that as well. So that video talked about looking at low volume nodes over previous sessions. This is actually going to be low volume nodes in very short-term trends and then using that to look for potential trend continuations. In addition to everything else we were doing before that, where we have our entry signal. And let me actually turn that on. So let's see. So we've got entry condition, we have levels, and then I'm in the way here. Um, but we have no trades into any levels and no breakout trades. So the only thing that we are going to do here is we're going to change our levels. We're still looking at imbalances in a way, but we're not looking at the prior day value area high or low. We are still looking at the point of control, but we're looking at in a current situation. So let me show you examples of what I mean. So I already made an indicator for this, not published. I'm going to try to get these published ASAP so that you can use them if you want. But what I'm looking for now, and actually I'm going to update this. So what I'm looking at now is, how do I edit this? There we go. This will be uh, RG, meaning red or, oh, shit, I'll just type it out. Red or green, and then we're going to change this to, um, actually I'll do LVN and or. We're not going to use imbalances in that sense, so I'll get rid of that. And what we're doing is, it's just the same as every other strategy. We're looking for a setup at a certain level. So what I'm particularly looking for is 3 candles or more of the same color in a row. And we're going to be breaking a swing. So like here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As soon as we have these 3 candles, I'm interested in whatever is going on here. But then to really top it off, I need it to break a recent swing level. So here we have a swing level there. It broke that. Cool. 3 candles broke a swing level. I'm interested. Of course, there's additional swing levels. So as long as it breaks one swing level that was recently created, I'm interested because that shows, hey, this was working as support here, and all of a sudden we have this, 3 candle sell-off that broke that swing level. Like sellers are clearly interested somewhere in this area. But how do we know what exactly triggered that, and how do I get in on that, right? Because this is a trend potentially, right? We don't know yet. So actually, let me do this. Let's go here, and I want to know where in this sequence of candles can I look for sellers to step back in? So if price pulls back, where should I be interested, right? Some people use the Fibonacci levels. Some people use a moving average. Some people use fair value gaps. Some people use um, maybe they don't even use levels. They're just looking at strictly the indicator, like a MACD with an RSI or something like that. So there's all these ways you can look, but what I've found to be the best is just look at volume. Like the volume shows you where the people are transacting the most contracts, and wherever that's happening, that's likely where they're going to step in again and move the market in a similar way. And we can use our entry conditions all the way pointing all the way over there to the other side of the screen. Those are the entry conditions that we then need to see at these levels. So I'm just going to take a fixed volume profile tool, put it over here, and I'm going to see a few things. I'm going to have my point of control down here. So that's interesting. This point of control is actually at the end of the move, right? Because this is the sell off here. the end of the move is obviously down here, and that's where the point of control is. Okay, interesting. So you can't really use that point of control for a pullback because any pullback is going to go beyond that. And so what we need to do then is look for the next best thing, which is a low volume node. I am going to be looking for the furthest one away. So yes, there's one here. Yes, there's one here. Yes, there's one here. But there's also this one here. That is the one I'm interested in because it's the furthest one away. That's where I'm looking, right? But I can also use another thing that we use in another video, in my other videos, which is the 15-minute 9 EMA, which is an exponential moving average. That's always a good level to use as well. And as you can see, if there is a pullback, it can either hit this EMA here, or it can hit up here as well. And obviously, it can reject before that, or do a continuation before that. So we're just going to have to watch and see what happens. But the point is that it is just a great way to have a method of honing in at those points, right? Like, so while this is happening, these are 5-minute candles, right? So this whole move takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25 minutes, half an hour, right? And then I'm like, all right, now I got to sit at the chart and wait for something to happen. No, I can set an alert up here, for when price crosses there. I can look. I have a alert attached to the EMA, the moving average. So when price crosses it, I get an alert. So hey, I can come back and start watching for a setup. I still miss so many trades because I don't know what's going on, but I do, and it's besides the point. You can use alerts so you don't have to sit here. And as we can see, let's see what happens. It hit our low volume node, and it is working its way through the moving average. And then it continues upwards, actually uses this area as some support. And so cool, all right, like we didn't get our signal there, we didn't have the high volume entry condition come in here, but we can see in this example the theory was right? We have a sell-off here. We're trying to find where the sell-off may continue if a pullback occurs, and we can see it didn't actually do a trend continuation here, but they gave their biggest push here. So if you did enter a short here, you'd have your best chance of hitting your targets because, I mean, let's face it, even if you did enter on the close of that candle, you still have, almost 10 points on gold here, which is a really good trade. And actually strike that from your brain as that being a good trade because that's 10 points. That does not. It's not how it works. It could have been 2 points. It still could have been a good trade. But you can see here what I'm saying is, yeah, you got enough meat on the bone here to be happy with what you had if you did take a short there. But let's see if we can find some more examples. So I'm actually just going to turn on my indicator, which actually highlights these conditions happening. So that's cool. I have an alert for that. So I'll get an alert. It'll say, gold made an upward trend or something like that, whatever, and I know, okay, I can come back and look here. So we're just going to go over and look at the last few days. I'm just going to put the volume profile, fixed volume profile tool over these so that you can see kind of how that looks. Like, so if I'm seeing this here, again, interesting to note when the point of control is at the top or at the far end of the trend, that's makes it tough to use the point of control for a level because you're not getting a pullback to it because you're at it already. But what you will notice here is that you can see, interesting. We did get a little pullback here. We got a green kind of a hammer, right? And look, price went up. Price came back down right to it. And look at that. We have look at it right there. It is perfect. Like, and this is why I'm so excited about this video, because it just captures everything so well and so precisely. It's pretty insane. Like, one of the things I'll show you is if this level didn't get used as support, like, you could actually look for a short off of it if price pulled back to it. Like, these points that we are able to find using a fixed volume profile over, 3, 4, 5 consecutive candles of the same color. It's insane how powerful the information is, like, and how powerful these levels are. So I'm super excited, just about this video. So let's keep finding examples of these. Here's one. For some reason, the indicator sometimes only highlights the three in the middle, if it's, in this case, 5 candles. So I'm just covering the whole thing. Here we have our point of control. You can see it's lower than, here where it's in the upper part of the profile itself, in the trend itself. Here it's lower. So this one you actually get a pullback to it. And you're like, oh, bummer, that one lost. No, no, it did not, because no trades into any levels. You can't trade into the 15-minute 9 EMA. You just saved yourself from losing. Our profit is beyond it, so we're good. Here, if I put my tool over it, if I put my tool over this and my first profit target is within the moving average, I can take this trade. And it wins. This one, nope. So you don't take it, you avoid a loss. And this I'm just so excited because it's good. It's good. So let's keep looking. Let's keep looking. Let's keep getting reps under our belt. Let's keep looking for what we want. And that's what's nice about the indicator. We can just quickly see on the chart where we're at. So here, we're gonna just, all right, no setup there. Now what's interesting is we had this. Look at all this volume on a buyer's candle that came in through that. That that's what I that's interesting. That's a lot of volume. That that's a lot relative to what's been happening, in the last hour. And look where it happened, right through the point of control of this move that we identified. So in theory, this is a lower probability setup, but you can take these, because that actually is a signal. If I take off my high-low filter here, this is a volume setup where you have more volume than the prior candle. The shape of the candle. Look down here. The entry condition rules. More volume than the prior candle. Shape of the candle. Size of the body relative to the total range. You know, this is my rule is 70. The candle has to close towards a 77% of its range. So if I have a bullish candle, it needs to close. If I'm measuring from high to low, this is 100%, this is 0% on a bullish candle, and it needs to close above 77% to show momentum in that favor. The body has to be at least 33%. Uh, that's the entry condition, and if it happens at a level, you can take it if you're not trading into another level. Now, I wouldn't take this trade if I was looking at imbalances or fair value gaps, because we'd be trading into a level, but we're not looking at those anymore. So it's not a level I care about. These are, if fair value gaps are a physical indicator, they're not actually based on any data other than the physical fact that there's a gap between this candle and this candle. There's no overlapping of these two candles, so that's the fair value gap, right? That's just a physical indicator. It's not actually telling me anything. Using volume profile actually shows you where the fair value would be in this move, in these three candles, because we're actually looking at data here. And that's cool because you can see it's a fluid thing. It's not always in the same spot. It's not always in the fair value gap. It's not always in that area. Sometimes it's towards the bottom of the trend. Sometimes it's on the further beginning of the trend, and so forth. What are we at? 15 minutes almost? All right. Let's keep looking at examples. I don't care, I guess, if this video takes longer. Just don't keep watching it if you don't want to. But we're going to look at more examples. This is an upward trend here. We have our point of control down here. We can see, okay, price didn't come back to it. Cool. This area right here where this low volume is, this is a low volume node. I am interested if price comes back to that. I will look for a buy signal. because that is somewhere where sellers may not have been. So if this is low volume in an uptrend, but we continued moving price up, what is that telling you? That's telling you that of this low volume, it was all buyers. There was no sellers participating there. Okay, if no sellers were participating there and it was only buyers, I am interested in that area again because buyers could step in again without sellers because they didn't, that's what happened before, and that's an opportunity for me to ride that wave. And look what happens right here. That that is so powerful because of just the fact this is a game of probability. And when you have that much data and you can repeatedly, if you can repeatedly use that data in such a way to have it be in your favor, like that's data favor, favor data, favor data, favor data. What am I saying? What am I even? I don't know my videos. So you're gonna see this anyways. What I'm saying is it's just the data that you get is so favorable for your for our trades. That's what I was trying to say. All right, let's regather here. Now this isn't one of our entry trades here, right? Like the entry conditions over here. We don't get that in this area when price came back here, but you don't have to use my entry conditions. You could use the Heiken Ashi candles maybe. Let's see what that looks like. Maybe you're a Heiken Ashi trader and this is, where were we? Right here. Yeah, now maybe I wouldn't do that. So either way though, what I'm getting at is you don't have to just use my entry conditions. You can use whatever you want. Um, let's look at some more examples. And the interesting thing about this too is not only did we not get our signal, but had we, that moving average was right there, but I guess that's really nothing. All right, let's look. We have another nice sell-off here. Look at this, point of control. I, uh, how, what are we? Oh my gosh, I've had this in the way for how long? I am in shambles. I am a mess right now. This is not my best work in terms of production, but so I do apologize that that's been like that for quite a few minutes. Um, but that does not take away from the fact that look at this, another setup. Not only do you have a signal here, but look at even before that, you have one of those lower probability steps. You have a high volume candle coming through at that. Yeah, that one would have lost. That's why I wouldn't take those, but it's just really interesting to see how often you get a signal on the opposite side of this. So right, we're looking at a downward trend here. We still get a buy signal to some degree there. I need to actually turn that filter back on though, because I do not trade like that. Um, if you took this trade, we're not trading into our levels because our first target is before that. Not only that, if you're going in with multiple contracts and instead of having multiple targets here, you just take everything right here and you're out of your trade because you know you could get resistance here. It's perfect. And if you take your the first target is at 1.1 and a quarter R. So even if you take everything here, dude, you're good. You're good. Oh man, that's just these are so good. We got this nice move here. This one's a little weird because you got like this hesitation all the way down here for, 15 minutes before it moves. That's one where maybe you're like, yeah, I'm not going to use those first three candles. I'll just use this move here. Regardless, what ends up happening is you get this point of control that's at the top. You're not going to take this trade because it's essentially a breakout trade. Yeah, we do have price here and here from earlier, but it's been a while, and it's just not a pullback, right? Like we're looking to get in on the trend when it pulls back. This is just the consolidation, and then yeah, just not something we're looking for. But regardless, we're not looking up here, right? So if we're not looking at the point of control, we can look down here to see if there's a low volume node to uh, to be interested in. I don't really actually see one here, so that's just that's whatever. If I extend this over here, maybe I can find. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. This area right here, I'd be interested in. This is a low volume node with a high volume right there, like a secondary point of control. So that would be one. I don't even care if this loses. The point remains like this. This is actually according to the rules here, the entry condition, not the actual indicator itself, but the entry condition. This is actually a signal here. It has more volume than the prior. The shape of it, the size of it, the high-low placement, I think is the only thing actually that's out of whack. It's an equal low situation. It looks like low 428.6. Oh, 428.7. Okay. So technically that's why it's not showing up on my indicator either. But that's one where it's like, dude, that's a 3 bar reversal and that's basically my our entry condition, you know. Here, this one you get knocked out by a few ticks, whatever. I mean, you can't win them all. Sometimes, whatever happens. But like you don't have to put the stop where I put my stop. You don't have to do that. I have a smaller account, so I do that just to keep my stops smaller. And get me out of trades quicker if they're going against me. You can put it, all the way down towards the bottom if you want. That's still an incredible trade. That's 2.5 R, I think the blue is. The blue is 2.25 as well. So yeah, it's about 2 R. Yeah, it's about 2 R there. It's just so good, so good, man. Oh man. What yeah, I think we're good here. I think you get the point. This is on gold. It works on the Nasdaq. Today, I guess we'll just look real quick. There was there was kind of this trade. No, okay. So on the Nasdaq, it wasn't. I'll show you the ES in a second here. Um, we had these up moves, so I just highlighted them. Price never came back. Oh, we did have this trade right here. This is off the 9 EMA, so we can use one of the levels that I'll take a trade off of if you got to get a pullback to it in a trend. If I get a pullback to it, 15-minute 9 EMA. So this one right here, perfect. Like no drawdown, straight to final target. Yeah. If we look at the ES, you'll see we had this low volume node here during this downward sell-off. Price came back once, came back again. We got our sell signal. Price dropped, hit the first target, and then started its upward trend for the day. In which case we also got the buy signal here. The cool thing about here on the ES, on the MNQ, we did not really have an upward trend that created a level for us that corresponded with the signal here on the Nasdaq, but on the ES it did. So we had this upward um, trend here, this consecutive candle move here. We have this low volume node here. This is just so obvious. It's not the furthest one, but it's just so defined and square. Those ones for some reason work really well. Don't know why. Um, you can see we just follow over. We get our signal off the 15-minute and off that low volume node, and again, price just straight to the final target. So it works so good. I'm so excited. This is really I feel like I could be given a Nobel Peace Prize over this work. This strategy is just so nice. Just kidding. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be taking a lot of videos on and talking about. So if you made it to the end, Godspeed, soldier. I appreciate you. Leave a comment because I love to see who you guys are that are actually watching this to the end. So I appreciate it. And if you found value in this, always feel free to like and subscribe.